We're talking about top 5 neighborhoods in Fairfax County. We're going to start this show off with Kingstown. Of course, you knew it.
If you are familiar with our channel, you knew that already,
we
right?
live in Kingstown. We love it here. We want you to move somewhere where you love, and what's the easiest place to know than the place
you live?
Home?
Okay, now what I will say is we didn't just choose Kingstown because it's our home. It's also the area on our list with the most transactions. So there are nearly 250 transactions in Kingstown last year. So that is a lot of transactions for one subdivision. Because you have to remember, Kingstown is just a large subdivision within Alexandria, Fairfax County. It's a neighborhood.
It is just a neighborhood.
And it's a fairly large
neighborhood.
It's the second largest planned community in Fairfax County, and that's evident by the number of transactions. And so Kingstown is located in southern Fairfax County, and I want to say this may be our southernmost location on the list today on the map of Fairfax County. So if you look, Abraham is showing you now where Kingstown is located. It is going to end up being about 16 miles to the southwest of DC, about 12 miles from the Pentagon. When you're in Kingstown, you're only going to be about 2.5 miles from the nearest gate at Fort Belvoir, and then you're about 15 miles from Tyson. So good location as far as reaching all of those different employment hubs. Yeah. And so that is one of the reasons it made our list today. Kingstown has a variety of different types of homes. So it is one of only maybe 2 on our list today. That's condos, single families, and townhouses. So it is a great opportunity no matter what phase of life you're in. If you're looking for a smaller place just by yourself, or you need a larger home, always like a 4 or 5 bedroom estate home, the Kingstown area has a nice mix of those different types of properties.
That's true. I would also say that the primary product, the housing product in the Kingstown area is going to be townhouses. Mm-hmm. So we're much more of a townhouse community, but you have various stages of townhouses. You have townhouses that have no garage and they're rather small and at the bottom of the price range as far as townhouses go.
Absolutely, starting at 2 bedrooms.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And then you have all the way up to 3 and 4 bedroom townhouses with 2-car garages, right? So you do get the full gamut as far as townhouse living. And then when it comes to single family homes, we have 2-bedroom single family homes. I know that's kind of weird, but we have them. They're on their own lot. It's a small collection of them. But then we also have 5, 6-bedroom single family homes. Now, I will let you know the 5, 6-bedroom single family homes, we don't have
a lot of them.
So the number of properties that meet that criteria are not going to be as plentiful as the townhouses, but you do at least have the ability to go from a condo to a townhouse to maybe a larger townhouse to a single family home, all in the same location. So Kingstown would love to watch you grow up in the North Virginia area.
Absolutely. It has a lot of opportunity for you to grow and also to downsize, right? So just like you have the opportunity to go from a condo up into a single family, we've also seen people move from a townhouse into a condo. And so that's one of the many great things about Kingstown, in addition to its central location. With Kingstown being one of the largest subdivisions, it has probably the most amenities of any of the associations we're going to talk about today. The Kingstown area has 2 different town centers, which have 2 pools, tennis courts, a lot of things to do within the area. There are 2 fitness centers that nearly rival. Now, they're not full of upgrades, but as far as what's available within them, they have pretty much any exercise equipment that you would need. The average closed sales price in 2021 was about $630,000. Now, take into consideration that's including all property types, right? So that's when you consider condos, townhouses, and single families. Yeah. At $630,000, you're looking at getting a townhouse in Kingstown. You're looking at probably a 1 to possibly 2-car garage townhouse at that price point.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be tough to get a 2-car garage townhouse, but you would get a nice sized townhouse. If you're looking at the condos, you're looking at $300,000.
3 to 4, yeah.
And then if you're looking at single family, you're looking up 800.
8 plus.
8 plus, right. Another thing too that's cool about the Kingstown area is the amenities that are available. So we have Kingstown right here. This little area right here is the Kingstown area. All of this is Kingstown. So Kingstown has a Wegmans that flanks it to the left, and then we also have the Kingstown Town Center that is towards the northern part of Kingstown. Inside the town center, you have places like TJ Maxx, Home Goods. You have 2 grocery stores. You have a Safeway, a Giant, and then you also have a Walmart right over here, Kohl's. We have an Aldi. Now, a lot of people aren't going to mention this when they talk to you about the Kingstown area.
What?
We have a Lazy Boy. Yes, that's right. So if you're looking for premium furniture, right? If you're looking for the ability to watch your football games in the utmost comfort, you don't have to go all the way to Tyson's, or you don't have to go all the way to Little River Turnpike, right? You just come right down to Kingstown. You can pick up yourself one of those nice plush recliners. Yes, that's right. We have a lazy
Can you tell he likes recliners?
Yes. Another thing that I think is nice about the Kingstown area, and just to let you know, we're probably going to talk more about Kingstown than any other area. That's understandable. We also have the Springfield Town Center, which is right here, which is our little mall.
It's a modern mall because malls have changed so much over like the last decade.
Back in my day.
Oh, goodness.
I'm just playing. Another thing that's cool about Kingstown, because Kingstown is this area between Telegraph and Manchester Boulevard and up here towards Franconia Road. We also have 2 metro stops
nearby.
So we have the Franconia Springfield Metro right here. Then we also have the Van Dorn stop. These are both on the blue line. So that's another thing that makes Kingstown unique in my position, right? I believe that you have, not only have things to do, but you also have ways to get out of here. So this is a typical Kingstown townhouse around that average sales price. And as you can see, we have this type of layout here. They're entering on the main level here, and then you either have steps going down or steps going upstairs. Actually, this is my favorite type of townhouse. You only have a few steps up, and then you kind of go in and you're already in the property. Although my real favorite is actually when you have no steps onto the basement level, but we'll talk about my favorites in the future. So this is what the house looks like. I would say that this is a traditional layout here where you have the kitchen to the right-hand side, then you have this dining room area off to the kitchen. We also see some people actually put their dining room right here in this area in the main living area.
And then that's actually the eat-in kitchen.
And that's the eating kitchen area. So if you need 2 places to eat, they have updated cabinets. So they have these lovely 42-inch cabinets here. So this backyard faces the trees.
Actually, this backyard backs to a trail.
Okay.
And so that's another good thing about Kingstown. We have miles of trails throughout the neighborhood.
That is true. So this is just what you can expect. It's just a townhouse, 3 boxes sitting on top of each other with other boxes next to it. Nothing really to point out here. If you're not used to townhouse living, it is something to get used to, right? Maybe you're coming from a part of the country where there's only single family houses. You're just really sharing a wall with somebody, so you're not going to get natural light through the sides unless you have an in unit. In units, of course, are rare because they're in units. So that's the main housing product in the Kingstown area, and we live here. We love it here.
So Kingstown is actually one of the few neighborhoods in Fairfax County where all of the homes aren't zoned for one high school. So the way schools here go are pyramids. At the very top, you have a high school. In the middle, there's a middle school. And then the lower level, there are 5 to 6 elementary schools. And so Kingstown proper, which is what we're talking about, is zoned for Lane Elementary School, which is rated with the A- on niche.com, mixed reviews on websites like Great Schools. And so from Lane, most of the students, I want to say probably 90%, those students will actually be zoned to go to Hayfield Secondary, which is the middle school and high school.
Those are some things you need to know about Kingstown. We actually have some more videos on our channel about the Kingstown area. Go ahead and check those out. They are educational. We live in Kingstown. We love it here. We would love to have you here as well. So that's our first neighborhood on the list, and that's going to be towards the southern part of Fairfax County. So our next neighborhood
is Franklin Farm. So Franklin Farm is going to be another neighborhood that's kind of in that mid-tier price-wise. So the average sales price in Franklin Farm in 2021 was just at $680,000. And like Kingstown, you're going to see a mix of development. You're going to see a combination of single-family homes and townhouses. It's a neighborhood with over 18,000 residents, so it's a sizable neighborhood. It's probably our second largest on our list today, and it's going to be in that greater Herndon region. And one thing we noticed in Franklin Farm is they also have a couple of different style of single-family homes. So you're definitely going to see like that larger 2-car garage, not estate style, but definitely larger, more expensive on larger lot single families. But then you're going to see some one in no-car garage as well. So the area is known for its flat lots, lots of trees. It's not really as walkable as some other parts of Fairfax County. It really is a true bedroom community, in that when you want to go places, you really are going to need to take your car. It's not really the place where you're like you forget something, you're gonna walk to the supermarket or anything like that. It really is a neighborhood that relies on and is very car dependent. But as you see on the map, it is close to a lot of things.
Now, I will say there is one like major shopping center that has like a grocery store. So if you live around this particular grocery store, then yeah, you will be able to walk to this area. But for the most part, most of Franklin Farm is this swath of land. One of the things I like about Franklin Farm, I think we're about to get into this next, is about the amenities that they offer. Similar to Kingstown, they do offer some nice amenities with their HOA package. I love their trail. trails. They have wonderful trails. I think that they have better trails than even Kingstowne, and Kingstowne has trails as well. But Franklin Farm just has like some trails that either go through like open spaces, or they also have this little pond, this little fishing pond here. Franklin Farm is definitely a community I like a lot, because even though Crystal mentioned that it is a bedroom community and you're not going to really be walking too many places, if you move into Fairfax County, you've decided not to walk to places anyway.
Yes, that's true. But you are close to some other things. If you zoom back in, I mean, you're close to the Air and Space Museum. There's a Walmart, Target, and a Costco just south of it. Definitely some creature comforts, even a Wegmans down a little bit farther down. So there's lots of creature comforts. You're not going to walk anywhere, but you're definitely going to be kind of in the mix and close to a lot of things.
That's true. That's true. Similar to Kingstown, they have a mall as well. It's called Fair Oaks Mall. This mall is much better than the Springfield Town Center for you to get all your shopping out of the way. There's also several golf courses around the Franklin Farm area. And as you can see, you're super close to Dulles Airport, which is an international airport. You can also access the Dulles Toll Road. So if you want to quickly get to work, well, you got to pay. It is a toll road. And then you also have a 66 on the south side of the area.
Yeah, so if you're commuting, you're about 13 and a half miles from Tyson's. Dulles is just going to be about 8 miles away. And then you're about 24 miles from the Pentagon of DC. So it's a nice little ride if you're planning on living in that area and commuting to DC. So this is a typical single family home. This is the type of single family you're looking at. This one was listed at $725,000. As I said before, you're going to see a lot of single families on nice sized lots. As you can see, even though it's a fall or winter with this picture, we're taking lots of trees, tall trees in the area. So this is just to give you an idea of what you could get in this neighborhood for just a little bit more than the average closed sales price.
They had 81 transactions. It's a healthy market, so you'll be able to find properties that fit your criteria or fit your budget. And with 80, you're looking at 40 transactions every 6 months or so. So that's nice to choose from, right?
So it is a desirable area, and it has pretty highly rated schools, which is another draw for the neighborhood. So this is another neighborhood that is split as far as schools. So it's going to be a part of the Chantilly and Oakton pyramids. But those are actually two of the top high school pyramids in Fairfax County. According to U.S. News, those are number 6 and 7 of the 30 high schools in the area. And so even the lower level, the middle and the elementary schools in the area are also pretty highly rated. Definitely check out Franklin Farm if you're interested in staying below $700,000, because you're really not going to find a single family at the $700,000 price range closer into the city, at least not a newer or in that condition.
Yep. I like the Franklin Farm area. I love the space that they have between the properties. I love the trails. They also have 2 HOA centers, right? So
they do. And they have a lot of the same amenities that we mentioned in Kingstown. So they have basketball courts, tennis courts, swimming pools. In addition, Abraham did mention they have fishing ponds. And so there are a number of ponds throughout the community.
We learned this recently, that all of the lakes or waterways
are man-made.
Man-made.
I mean, Burke Lake is man-made. We see people fishing there all the time.
True.
So next up on our list, we have Pimmit Hills. This, along with our last location, are going to be definitely closer into DC. So in Pimmit Hills, there were about 70 transactions last year, and we're now at a higher price point. The average closed sales price was $1,065,000. So we're definitely looking at a little bit pricier area.
So Pimmit Hills is super close to Arlington, which is right around this area here, the DC area. You could also get to Tyson's Corner relatively quickly as well.
Highly desirable area because of that location, right? In fact, it is so close to Tyson's Corner that you could walk to the Silver Line Metro stop from this neighborhood. That's one of the reasons that it is so popular. So this neighborhood is going to be one that is transitioning. And when I say that, I mean that it is a neighborhood that has been around for a long time. It's actually built in the 1950s. But what we're seeing more and more of now is a lot of new construction. And the thing is, you're really not seeing many of those older homes come on the market for sale in condition to be lived in. There are a few of those sales, but for the most part, those properties are being listed as teardowns.
That's true. What I think is astonishing is that inside of Pimmit Hills is you have $500,000 and $600,000 teardowns. Yes. Somebody lived in that house for $600,000, thought it was an amazing property. And then somebody came through and said, you know what? I only want the dirt. Just give me the dirt, please. And then they tear down that $600,000 property, put up another $700,000 new construction, new build that then is valued at
almost $1.1 million.
Yep.
Absolutely. The lowest sales price last year was $540,000. And chances are that property was going to be torn down. And then you're also going to see builders coming in snatching up those $600,000, $700,000 prices. One thing you'll notice when you see a lot of new construction in Fairfax Fairfax County is you're going to see a lot of transitional and craftsman style homes.
Very little creativity with us.
Very little. Like, you would believe that it was the only model available because you never see colonials being put up anymore. It's pretty much craftsman transitional. That's pretty much it. That's one thing we noted when we did our driving tours, that we noticed a lot of the homes look very similar. But again, this is a popular area because it's in one of the top school pyramids. According to U.S. News, Marshall High School Pyramid is rated number 4 out of the 30 high schools in Fairfax County.
Right.
And if you're interested in living in a larger home and also having that proximity to DC and the Pentagon, this is going to probably be, on par with maybe Arlington, but definitely less than a McLean or Great Falls.
So if you're thinking to yourself, if I have a budget of 1.1, 1.2, 1.3 million dollars, why would I move to Pimmit Hills over the Arlington area? Well, for starters, you're going to get just a little bit more land. Arlington, you probably have the same size property, but it's going to be a smaller footprint. And it's not really that far away. I mean, you're only a short drive to Arlington anyway. I don't see it being that big of a deal to move either here, choose Pimmit Hills or one of the Arlington communities, which is why they have, robust sales at 70 transactions in that little bitty nook right there. So
sure. So next up, we're going to talk about a neighborhood in West Springfield, and the specific subdivision is going to be Daventry. They have 55 transactions last year, and the average sales price is going to be right under $580. So this is going to be the lowest priced area on our list today. It's a nice size area within West Springfield, and like our other subdivisions that we talked about previously, our first and second subdivision, you're going to find a combination of single family and townhouses in Daventry.
Now, Daventry, since it's in the West Springfield area, it's going to be the, I guess, not as south as Kingstown, which was the first neighborhood we talked about, but it is further to the west of the area. And as you move southwest, there's just going to be less amenities. So more houses, less amenities, more space between the houses. Yes, there's going to be less ways to kind of get around. One thing you'll notice is that the DC area has like these two main roads, these arteries coming out of it, right? And West Springfield is towards the middle of that artery when you look at it. And so that means that it's going to take you a little bit more time to get places. It's going to take you a little bit more time to either go to your creature comforts or any type of your job. But it's not that far away from this loop right here, the outer or inner loop, or the beltway right here. And so let's see if we can show this beltway to you. So this is the beltway right here. So West Springfield, the Daventry area that Crystal is talking about right now, is just outside of the loop. So you still have the ability to get around. It's not that bad.
Now, you're definitely not walking to the metro like our previous 2 or even really 3, because some people within Kingstown can walk to a metro.
Right.
So there are some public transportation options in that neighborhood. So it has a healthy mix of properties at that $580 price point. Of course, you're going to be looking at closer to $900,000 price point if you're looking at single families. We see a lot of families relocating from Kingstown to West Springfield. And the main reason for that is because they do have highly rated schools. So this is probably the best area on the list as far as finding highly rated schools at a lower price point. What we have here is, again, above the average. This is an in-unit with a garage. And so they have a lot of single car garage, but also there are a few neighborhoods within, few streets within Daventry that have 2-car garage units as well.
Right.
So this is a typical, open layout.
One thing I do want to point out is that the days on market in this area was only 8 days. Houses in this area tend to fly off the shelf because even at 8 days on market, most real estate agents put their houses on the market on a Thursday, and then they hold off to accept the review offers until Monday or Tuesday. So even 8 days really doesn't really tell the full story. So yeah, so it's just a typical townhouse that you're looking at. Like I said, the Daventry part, the main draw is, like Crystal said, the school system. And if you're stationed at the Pentagon or Fort Belvoir, or if you even go into Tyson's Corner, it's conveniently located, right? So Daventry is kind of in this southern part of the West Springfield area. So you're going to go to the Franconia Springfield Metro. But if you're just looking in West Springfield in general, there's also a VRE line off to the north of it to also get to and from work relatively easily off of Rolling Road. So that's another option for you as far as getting to and from your employer and getting back home.
You can also see to the east here, you're going to be close to that Springfield Town Center he previously mentioned, a few other shopping areas as well as restaurants. So when you're in that Springfield area, there's going to be a lot of different shopping opportunities throughout. There's also the Springfield Country Club in West Springfield.
For the ballers.
Whole Foods Market is over there as well in West Springfield. So you are close to creature comforts.
Also, before we get to our last destination information on our list. If you're ready to move on to the next step of the process to start the home buying process or even starting to sell a home, right? There is a link in the description to the Perfect Home Questionnaire. After you submit that form, we will schedule a time to meet with you online, answer any questions that you have about the home buying or home selling process. If you also want a text message or email us, our contact information is right here somewhere. Yeah, right there somewhere down there. And that's it. So what's our final place we're on our list?
All right, so we're going to end up in McLean, and the subdivision we're talking about in McLean is going to be Franklin Park. Not to be confused with Franklin Farm. So Franklin Park had an average sales price of just under $2.5 million. This is a neighborhood exclusively made of single family homes. And they had 30 transactions last year. Average days on market, 18 days, which is to be expected, a little bit higher than our average for all the other places just at this price point, but still under 30 days.
That's great.
Right? And it is a community of large, expansive single family homes. It's a wooded area, really hilly, quiet community just on that Arlington Fairfax line. And it's a great place if you're looking for a larger home in this price point, but don't necessarily want to be in DC. It definitely has more of a suburban feel than being in DC. And this neighborhood has actually been around since the early 1900s, and it has always been a neighborhood of larger homes. And so it's a highly sought after area. It's in one of the top school districts, and it has a little bit more of a community feel than some of our other larger communities that have maybe gated communities or homes that are so expansive on such large lots that people don't know their neighbors. And there's a lot of new construction in the area, and the new construction is going to be several million. But there are also some established homes that have been up for years that are still luxury homes in that $1 to $2 million price point.
If you're moving into this particular neighborhood, you have essentially the entire market to choose from at that price bracket. So why would you choose to go to McLean? It's really because you have such easy access to the Arlington, DC area. Also, it's a quick drive to Tyson's Corner. Your main airport, most likely you're using, is also the Dulles Airport, which is a relatively short drive as well. So anything up in that McLean, Great Falls area, you're going to get a nice sized lot. You're also going to get a lot of space between you and your neighbors. You're not really moving there because you want to be close to creature comforts. You're really moving there for the space and also kind of the exclusivity of that particular area.
Absolutely. But you're also not far from the metro. So as I said, it is in one of the top rated school districts. So McLean is actually rated number 3 high school in Fairfax County according to U.S. News. And their middle elementary schools are also rated pretty well. Great schools. Interesting nugget about the area. You live in the area, and a lot of families choose the area because of the highly rated schools. But then a large percentage of the families in this neighborhood, of course, at this price point, send their kids to private school.
Yes, they have a great private school selection up there in the McLean,
That's
Great
true.
Falls area. Almost all of the noteworthy private schools
Are in that area.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So if you are looking for private schools, then I think that the McLean, Great Falls, even North Arlington area is going to be a great place for you to live and have a short distance or commute to
Drop
school.
off or to school. Yeah, absolutely.
Ooh, this is on sale for $2 million. So you have your 3-car garage there, which is nice little, almost an open floor plan, nice foyer area. That's cool. I love those modern windows there. Got those canned lights. And then you just have walls, windows, a little ensuite there. Oh, look at that. That's a really nice open space for entertaining. Also, you got your dining room there. Let's see this kitchen here. Okay, so the kitchen is kind of outdated. It's a little dated.
Well, you know, I actually found that to be the case with quite a few of the properties when I was selecting one for us to take a look at. So I want to say this one might have been built in the 90s. And one of the ones that I looked at this morning was selecting. So some of the homes, even at this price point, are not necessarily brand new because, again, I also found a new construction that was closer to $5 million in this neighborhood. So again, I chose this one because this was kind of close to what we saw as our average price point.
Right, that makes sense. Also, it makes sense that this would be like custom build even for its time. I bet in the 90s, this was not a traditional build just based on like the layout. And you should probably see that that'll be probably more common for this particular community just because of the price point. So that's what you get in that that McLean community. So those are the top 5 neighborhoods in Fairfax County. We gave you a nice little selection to choose from on different parts. That's it for our show today. Thank you all for joining us. We appreciate you tuning in. We also appreciate the questions. If you want to get in touch with us again, there is the Perfect Home questionnaire. There's a link in the description. Fill it out and we can schedule a Zoom session with you to answer any questions that you may have about the real estate market. I'm Abraham Walker. This is Crystal Walker, my host and co-host. And that is it for our show. We'll see you in the next show. Peace.